The worst enablers on my 600. It'll be live by Big Craig. We'll see. We'll see. I've never watched my 600 pound live. I've never watched that. I've never did. But we'll see. We'll see.
Patients on my 600-pound life are some of the heaviest people living
Also, I feel like
in the world today, but they don't all get to that point themselves. With most being bedbound and immobile, they rely on family members and partners to bring them food. And in this video, we're going to be looking at the worst enablers on the show, starting with Sean Milliken, whose
audio should be a little louder now. I feel like he's a little silent. Sean Milliken. Interesting. I don't know who that is, obviously, because I don't watch that stuff. But yeah, I don't know how you could get to that point of that much weight. I know it's a lot of probably due to mental health issues, a lot of other stuff. But yeah, that is not me. I'm not that fat. Yeah, could be me either. I am not fat at all.
His mother fed him to over 1,000 pounds, and his story.
What the fuck? 1,000? 1,000? How much is that in kilogram? How much is that in kilogram? So I get an understanding. 453 kilograms? Holy shit. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Bro is gonna sink a ship. Not even the only person on the show to get that high, but that's crazy. How did he even survive that?
Ended as you would probably expect. Sean featured in season 4 of the show, and his astonishing weight.
He cannot. Yeah, obviously he will not be walking. That's for sure. Body fat percentage 80.
Led Doctor now to estimate that he was the heaviest person alive at the time of recording, and it's easy to see how he got there. Sean begins his episode by stating he needed to look for outside help for his weight loss, but as we'll come to see, it was clear that the outside help was actually allowing him to put on this massive weight. He lives in California, and every morning as soon as he wakes up, he shuffles to the end of his bed so he can go to the toilet in his bedpan. That is about all Sean can do by himself, as he is totally
What a point to get to! That's horrible!
and utterly bedbound, and so relies on his elderly mother to care for him, who is more than happy to do so.
Sean has to just totally be taken care of from head to toe. You know, everything has to be done for him.
Sean is 27 years old, however his mother has allowed him and in all honesty pushed him to live like a child. One Reddit commenter said that Renee infantilized him to the point of learned helplessness, and when you see her behaviour, it's hard to argue against that. Sean has actually been bedbound for the past 8 years, since he was 19, which is an absolutely absurd.
Since he was 19, okay, 8 years. 27? 27? 27? That's 27! Bro is cooked. I watch the show all the time to keep myself from overeating, traumatizing myself so I don't get fat. Oh, that's crazy. That was his ball. I think it was, maybe not, but that's some massive balls. I didn't even think they would grow getting this fat.
Amount of time to be in bed, especially considering how young he still is. This is the first of his mother's enablement issues, as she has allowed him to stay in that bed and gain weight at a rapid pace. Although Sean does give a knee injury for the reason that he stayed in bed for so long, his mother was the one bringing him the food and allowing him to stay there. The second and main issue is the sheer volume.
Feeder? A feeder? That's what she is. She's a feeder, isn't she? Funny how the bags are all censored because don't do the, this is not sponsored.
Of food she allows Sean to consume. When he asks for a snack, she actually has a pen and paper ready next to her, as if this is a common occurrence and she's going to need to remember a lot.
Just a couple burgers and soda. Maybe medium fry. Oh, could you give me one of those caramel sundaes?
Sure, no problem. Sometimes it's just easier to give.
I am so scared. I was so scared. I don't think he wears anything. I don't think he has any clothes on. He's just naked. How does he even poop? And she literally, yeah, she has feeder behavior. How about instead of like, also, that's not snacks. It's not snacks. This is like, a snack would be like, oh, like a handful of potato chips. Not, or crisps. Not this. Technically, she's not a feeder because she isn't getting sexual gratification from it. She's just classed as an enabler. Okay, okay. But do we know what's going on inside of the head? Kinda not.
What he wants, and unfortunately, I do that all the time.
Despite Sean needing 2 people to bathe him, Renee still allows him to eat and do whatever he wants, with seemingly no regard for his life. She reveals that people have actually said to her that what she is doing is going to him in the near future, which is some tragic foreshadowing.
I've had people tell me, you don't have to give him food just because he says he's hungry. But I'm a mom, and when your kids say, I'm hungry, Mom, feed a kid.
Sean being treated like a baby by his mother has clearly spread into his mind too, as he gives
I'm a mom. I'm gonna feed my son to death. Are we sure you won't get a YouTube notice because of this? Probably not. I won't get a strike or a the worst they can do is copyright it.
very strange comparison to what food feels like to him, and feels like actually a bit of insight into how he thinks.
Food has kind of become my comfort, kind of like a child with their blankie.
Sean doesn't act like a man because he doesn't see himself as one, and has allowed his mother to just treat him like a baby his entire life. After Sean has been transported to Houston to see Dr. Now, he cries like a child when he's in pain, while he's being simply pushed around in a wheelchair.
Please stop. I can't go any further. Stop.
Somebody take that. Thank you.
However, this isn't even the most shocking part of the segment.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised. You are being crushed by your own weight. I am not surprised. Holy fuck, this is terrible. This is terrible. Not gonna lie, there should be government intervention if you reach that kind of mass. Bro, probably. Bro has his own gravitational pull at this point.
As Sean is so big and he's been eating fast food on the car journey to Houston, he seemed to lose the ability to control his bowels. This led Sean to having an accident in his chair, and his mother needing to come clean up after him.
Sean is used to his mother completely taking care of him.
Without you getting
As long as she does everything for him, Sean has no reason to leave. And she controls him with the food. We have to start making drastic changes with him, starting with his own situation.
Throughout the episode, Sean had many ups and downs, but his episode unfortunately ended in a double tragedy.
Of course he has no control over anything, nothing. None of his body is really that much under control anymore. This puts a huge strain on his bones as well, and on his organs. It just makes sense that he's not gonna... Yeah, he's definitely dying. Because, you know, foreshadowing. I believe Disney's faking box office number, including our Avatar 2. Congratulations. I don't care about Disney, I'll be real.
His elderly mother died in 2017 due to kidney failure, and because Sean couldn't even make a sandwich on his own, he rapidly deteriorated after, succumbing to his weight at just 29 years old. Now, although Sean was essentially made to feel like an infant by his doting mother, Betty Jo and her husband Josh had a...
So, the mom died, and then he died. Crazy. Crazy.
very similar enablement issue. However, Josh had...
And nobody looked after him anymore after this? Wow.
Very different reasons for doing so. Appearing in season 3 of the show, Betty Jo weighs in at 654 pounds, and the reasons behind her rapid weight gain are made very clear at the beginning of her episode, with one YouTube commenter writing, he is more afraid of losing her to another man than he is to death.
She may be denied the surgery, or she can be approved, and then there's the risk of her dying on the table during the surgery. But my biggest fear is actually her dropping the weight and leaving me.
It is honestly really disgusting to hear that his biggest fear, more than her actually dying, is her losing weight. When the pair go to see Dr. Now, in typical Dr. Now fashion...
Her losing weight? Oh, that's terrible. Fat grows not the skeleton. Exactly. This just puts enormous strain on the skeleton, on the bones.
He calls Josh out for his very disturbing behavior and even gives a potential reason as to why he does this.
Who does the grocery shopping?
She makes the list. I go get the stuff.
So you are her enabler.
Basically, I've stopped trying to argue with her.
I'm concerned that her husband may be the biggest problem. He's an enabler, but he's not overweight, which means he's feeding her because he may want her to be large.
Someone else who could see that Josh was doing more harm than good to Betty Jo was Shaun of Steel, who had this to say about her enabler husband.
I need Josh to help me change.
No, you don't. You need you. You don't need anybody but you. I got a quick 100 pounds you can lose right friggin' there. Buddy's gotta go.
Now, Shaun mentions he knows a quick 100-pound weight loss, which...
True. Technically, yeah, he's the problem. He gotta go. He absolutely has to go. In his actual episode, he did get more help after his mother's death, but he kept messing up. Oh, man. Technically, bones do grow. Yeah, that's true, but they won't grow beyond what they are what's already there, right? Of course, I think there's a sickness where like it causes immense bone growth.
Which obviously for Betty is to get rid of Josh. But I know an even quicker way to lose weight, and that is by subscribing to my newsletter, The Fat Loss Kitchen, where every Friday we send you high protein, low calorie meals for completely free. I even told Shaun about this and showed him some of the meals we have coming up on there, and the cookbook, which is releasing at the end of May, and he was blown away by the quality of the food we have prepared. The meals are all calorie counted with serving sizes, time to cook, and even complexity scales. Emails are sent out on Friday evenings, so make sure to sign up soon to ensure you don't miss this week's newsletter. So back to Josh. His fears of losing Betty often manifests in just letting her eat as much food as she wants, whenever she wants. She piles plates high full of breaded chicken strips, and even worse, at the supermarket, Josh just follows her around and puts whatever she wants into the basket.
The way I see myself on the outside, I hate it. On those, I feel judged. Like, look at that fat girl. But I know this is something that I did to myself.
He just lets her put in whatever she wants? Bro! Bones just grow. They can shrink if a person's getting old. That too. You know, people get old and then they get smaller. Yeah, that makes sense. Damn, Frog's gonna even more smaller. It's just crazy. They just like walks behind her like a complete other fool and just puts in whatever she says he's supposed to put in. I'd be like, nah, enough, stop.
Mr. Princess.
The worst part hasn't even happened yet, as despite Josh feeding Betty Jo whatever she wanted at the beginning, Betty Jo did start to take a bit of accountability and ask him to make healthy meals. She did lose some initial weight and was eventually put through surgery. However, this caused Josh to actually become depressed because he saw Betty Jo bettering herself, claiming that it was damaging their relationship, with Shaun of Steel again stating how ridiculous this was.
Hey, wash his hair.
It hasn't.
I'm gonna go sit down.
I know he cares, but I just feel like he's not motivated to help me.
I feel like we didn't even come down here. She wouldn't be how she is, and we'd be okay. I don't know what's gonna happen with us. I don't know the damage that's gonna be done in our relationship.
He's motivated to keep you down. That's all he's worried about right now, is keeping you...
Keeping you the way you are so he doesn't feel inferior. Well, how about this? Instead of crying, you could step up your game, but you won't do that. And yes, if she has lost all the weight, she should absolutely dump you. 100%.
As like with as little self-worth as he can. That's what he's worried about, because he draws his value from you being down, which is no way to live.
And these fears were confirmed after the pair went to get counselling together, and Josh repeated what we can already all see, that he does not want Betty Jo to lose weight, because if she does, she will probably leave him, which is no way to talk about someone you supposedly love.
Well, we've always had some issues, but for like the last 2 months now, we've just kind of been biting each other's heads off, I guess. We don't know how to communicate. In my opinion, it started when I had my surgery. The first night, he promised that he would stay at the hospital with me, and he didn't.
I wonder, Josh, what are you thinking or feeling? How has it affected you? the weight loss or the surgery, and just how has that changed your relationship?
I used to take care of her. I used to be her caregiver, do what she needs, but now she's starting to just be able to move around and stuff, and in a way.
Homie felt useless. That's crazy. That's crazy. Homie seemed actually... Homie considers himself useless now because he can act on her own. See, Shaun of Steel. Okay, Shaun of Steel is great, by the way. He used to be 605 pounds. Now he's 300 pounds. I know specific to there. Okay, yeah. Skeleton grows upwards more compared to sideways. It's like putting you in a water balloon and making you walk, pretty much.
That really scares me because I don't want her to leave me.
Since the show aired, it seems like Betty Jo has lost a bit of weight, and surprisingly, she's still with her husband Josh. The same thing can't be said about Lupe and her husband, or now ex-husband Gilbert, who actually went through a breakup while filming the episode for a shocking reason. Lupe Samano appeared in season 4 of the show, and at just 39 years old, weighed a staggering 642 pounds. Living out in California, her episode starts with a disturbing scene of her waking up with an oxygen mask on. The most shocking part about Lupe is just how short she is. At just 5 foot tall, the 642
Holy fuck! 5 feet? Over 600 pounds? That's crazy.
pound frame meant that she was totally and utterly bedbound and relies entirely on her husband Gilbert, who says he feels more like a carer.
I feel helpless. It's just me taking care of her more than us having a marriage. You know, I guess you could say intimacy is impossible. This is way harder than I thought it was gonna be. But, you know, I love her and that's what keeps me going.
Lupe has heart and kidney.
That just made me very, very, very uncomfortable. That just made me very, very uncomfortable. But, you know, sometimes you have to see stuff like that to show how dangerous this can be. And yes, then why did you just not? Why did you just not stop her? Why didn't you not do anything? You're a husband.
Issues, as well as being diabetic, and has already fallen into a diabetic coma before, so it's safe to say she's quite literally on the verge of death due to her size. Despite this, Gilbert still waits on her hand and foot and feeds her whatever she wants, which includes a full box of donuts, which is so full they
A full fucking box?
had to wrap it with tape, and things get even worse when Lupe finally meets with Dr. Now.
What seems to be your biggest challenge with your eating habit?
I'm an emotional eater. I get bad anxiety, and then I'll eat food until I get sick.
Who brings you the food?
My husband, my family.
They don't realize that they are killing you?
I know.
No?
I think they do, but they do it because they love me.
Okay.
As everyone acknowledges Gilbert is her enabler, Dr. Now emphasizes that Lupe must not gain any more weight, which initially goes alright, losing around 60 pounds in her first weigh. However, the next weigh-in did not go so well. While at a meeting with Dr. Now, she tries to use the toilet, and after trying for a while to squeeze into the actual room itself, she proceeds to get stuck in the toilet. This is due to the fact that after losing the initial
Oh fuck! She got stuck in the toilet!
60 pounds, she gained another 82 pounds, putting her...
She got even fatter? Bro.
Her net weight gain at 20 pounds since starting the program. And we all know where all of this food has come from, Gilbert.
So you start over, because if you don't, you're not going to make it. I'm keeping you in the hospital to start controlled diet again. You're down to your last chance. Do you understand? This is such self-destructive behavior. And her husband, Gilbert, is helping to kill her. We'll need to address their dynamic in the long run. But for now, we need to get her health and her weight under control again.
This has been a bit of a wake-up call for me.
However, it seems like Gilbert wouldn't be given much of a chance to change after Lupe caught him flirting with girls on Facebook and even trying to meet up with them.
Oh, he's a cheater. Take care of yourselves, y'alls. For sure. For sure. This video is a perfect fat anti-fat weapon. Holy shit. We gotta lose more weight. Hi tourist, how are you doing? Hope you're doing good. That is crazy. Yeah, he's cheating. Dump him immediately.
And I have to go on there and find out myself. There's all kinds of chicks. That's so disrespectful, you know? It gets me, it irks me.
We're just sending scriptures out with no pictures of me and just of God and, you know, the news and stuff like that. I'm here clicking and grabbing anyone I can that I can send that message out. I'm trying to spread the word out, and you're upset because I added a chick on there.
If you're spreading God's word, why would I go on there and I see all kinds of chicks, especially showing their boobs? Come on, Gilbert. If there's some
Yeah, you're not spreading the word of God. I'm sorry. You're just cheating. The cold, harsh truth is that you are cheating.
someone you want to reach out to, and if it's a woman, have your wife do it. It's called respect because you're married.
Okay.
Lupe didn't break up with him immediately, and they spent a bit more time together after this, but it seemed like Lupe got sick of his enabler and liar behavior, and according to this Reddit thread from around the time the episode aired, they have officially divorced. This is similar to Zarlin and her husband, who is being called trash, unsupportive, and repulsive in multiple YouTube videos, and honestly, it's very easy to see why.
It's really hard to talk about Gareth because, you know, he wants a fat wife. He wants what he's physically attracted to. That's what he wants.
Oh, so that's a feeder. This time we got the feeder, though. This time we got the... No, he was not tourist. This time we got the feeder. Interesting.
Has a physical preference for his sexual needs that requires me to be bigger than, you know, just fat. I realized I've been telling myself a lie, and that lie was killing me. Big can't be beautiful when it means my daughter may not have a mother.
Despite Zarlin weighing almost 600 pounds and being very motivated to lose weight, her husband has been the one holding her back. Zarlin is capable of going to the grocery store by herself and picking out what she wants, so she ultimately is the one making these bad food choices.
It's really, really good. It's so sugary, sweet, and delicious. I just want to make love to them with my mouth. Exactly. It's
Bro. That's terrible. Don't say it like that. Don't say you want to make love to things with your mouth. That mouth taped enough. No more food.
like a sexual thing for me, obviously.
This obviously is supported by her husband,
Fooding? Instead of gooning? Interesting.
Gareth, who admits himself that he wants not just an obese partner, but a super morbidly obese partner, even comparing her to food.
I'm a little bit sad because, you know, I like bigger women, so it's a little upsetting to lose what you like. But I mean, gonna have to get over it.
Why do you have to be such a negative Nancy?
We'll see. Let's hope it doesn't turn around to bite us in the butt. I've always liked bigger women. Why settle for a hot dog when you can have a steak?
Comparing his wife.
Why could you settle for a salad if you could have a cheeseburger? Not a cheeseburger. A double quadruple Big Mac. Instead of gooning, it's gobbling. That is crazy. That is crazy. Wow.
To food, and saying it is upsetting to lose what he likes shows his disgusting mindset going into this. He really doesn't want her to lose weight and makes it blindingly obvious that he was a big part of the reason that she's in this position in the first place. Now look, clearly she can't work. She sits at home eating, supported by Gareth. This is just a start though, as he actually starts to act in an awful way towards Zarlin, which was noticed by people on Reddit. In a thread with 400 upvotes talking about how awful Gareth was, one commenter went a step further. I wanted to punch him throughout the episode. That man would have gladly sacrificed his wife, his child's mother, for his own sexual pleasure. And this was shown literally the day after Zarlin had her weight loss surgery, as Gareth gave her a completely tone-deaf comment.
Oh my God, I'm so happy you asked. I've lost 78 pounds. So you're sick? Why didn't you go to work?
I couldn't sleep. If it makes you feel any better, me and Brandon, we went to the cycle stand.
Okay. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and go. I'll talk to you later. All right. Talk to you.
The fuck? What the fuck is wrong with him? Well, we know what's wrong with him. He has a weird fetish. Here is what I'm saying. We listen and we judge. Why settle with one meal when you can set can eat 10 meals. Yeah, that's what he believes, or at least that's what it feels like.
Later.
Honestly, good on Zarlan for putting the phone down on him, but what was going through his head? Talking about going to the taco stand, knowing she can't have one, and actually seeming annoyed that she talked about her weight loss. When Zarlan was discharged from hospital, Gareth picked her up and continued his awful attitude.
I was expecting to look a lot skinnier straight after, man.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint.
Fuck? Bro, get the divorce papers, I'm not gonna lie. Get them immediately, fuck it.
You, but I haven't lost 75 pounds.
I'm not looking to do no dieting, mind. I mean, I'll be considered around you eating, but I'm not looking to do no dieting.
I don't think Gareth is going to be someone who's going to help me.
And Zarlan was right, as the next scene is genuinely very upsetting, as Gareth takes her to a drive-thru. On the way home from surgery, he waves burgers and chips in her face. And honestly, even though I've covered so many of these 600-pound life episodes now, this was a tough watch.
Oh yeah, I smell bacon. Bacon makes everything right. Don't be tempted now.
I'm not even a little bit tempted.
Eating my food. No chip.
If he's going to go ahead and try and tempt me like this, it's hurtful. It's a little bit nauseating, to be honest.
Oh, my burger. Okay, which way?
I think I married a jerk, but I think he doesn't know any other way. I don't know if I'm gonna have Gareth's support, but I can't turn back now.
Yeah. Just ditch him at this point. Just ditch him. Nobody needs somebody like that. It's like refusing to support your wife through chemo because cancer turns you on. Bro. I want to say that's a ridiculous comparison, but it's actually kind of true. I wonder if those people actually exist.
This is the exact type of behaviour that got her in this position in the first place, and honestly, we can't expect anything different from Gareth. When Zarlan starts eating her diet, he belittles her, calling her food crap and pretending to be sick when he sees it. Luckily, Zarlan was mentally strong and not only lost a ton of weight during the show, but she actually found the strength to leave that awful relationship. Now, although Zarlan was the one being abused, the next patient was actually the one doing the abusing to enable him to get food, and that was Stephen Asante, by far and away the most disgusting star to ever appear on my 600-pound life. Now, if you're a subscriber of the channel, and if you've made it this far without subscribing, I would appreciate it if you were, because the majority of people watching my videos probably aren't subscribed, but if you are, you'll 100% know about.
Exactly, for real, you should subscribe to me as well, and to this guy, obviously. So yeah, it's just awful, that the person that's supposed to love you doesn't support you in bettering yourself. I mean, genuinely bettering yourself, right? Not the guilt tripping stuff, right? But it's crazy. He's manipulating her into breakup. It's like telling a recovering alcoholic you're going to a bar and buying the most expensive drink. No, it's not a good it's a good comparison. The weight loss surgery will save her life. Without it, she will die. Yeah, true. It's just crazy. It's just wild.
Stephen Asante. Stephen is well known for abusing hospital staff and just being an all-round awful person. But in order to get to where he is now, he had to have some help, and that came in the form of his father. The first major example of this was on the road trip to see Dr. Now. Stephen constantly asking his father to stop for food, calling him from the back of the moving truck which was transporting him.
Don't you think you made of money? Oh.
I'm feeling very weak. And if something happens to me, you're gonna be very...
I've seen this guy somewhere before. I can't pinpoint it, but I've seen the dude somewhere before. I actually have.
Sorry.
Welcome to the real Steven.
That's what I heard every day of the week at my house. Him eating. What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat?
The most surprising part is when Justin says, does he think you're made of money? Which just confirms the fact that Stephen's father is paying for the food he eats. This is made even more annoying due to the fact his father actually gives in and does stop to allow Stephen to eat a large Subway, of course funded by his father. If you want to see more about Stephen, including his cupboard full of pizzas and his abuse of hospital staff, click the video that's on your screen now to see the biggest failures ever on my 600-pound
The biggest failures. Pun intended.
life, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video.
Well, that's the end of the video. That was horrible. That was horrible. There's plenty of enablers that do this in plain sight. Actually, remember, It's not only people like that. It's also nowadays fat influencers who say health at all size and you're pretty the way you are. You don't need to change anything. If your weight causes you health issues, you must change something. Or you're gonna die. Or worse. There are things worse than dying, which is being this fat and suffering for 20, 30, 40 years. Nobody wants that. Nobody does.